Hey everybody, welcome to Studio 64. My name's David. I've been searching the interzones for more science, space and tech news to share with you. Came across this at rt.com. This should be interesting. Yes, Brazil bans X, even though Elon's already pulled out of it. It's fascinating, isn't it? Brazilians using a VPN access to the app could be fined $8,874 a day, the Supreme Court has said. This is ridiculous. Absolutely and utterly ridiculous. You know? I just think it's appalling, to be honest with you. Again, I keep saying it. This is why I love the alternative video streaming platforms of BitChute, Odyssey, and Rumble. You know, because, I mean, it's just nuts. I mean, you can't even speak freely anymore. It's crazy. Justice Alexandre de Moraes of the Supreme Court of Brazil has ordered the operations of X, formerly Twitter, to be immediately suspended and threatened draconian fines against anyone trying to sidestep the ban. De Moraes demanded that X censor several accounts that spread disinformation by criticising him, but the platform's owner, Elon Musk, has refused. Now, again, I've said this before, misinformation, disinformation, whatever. If somebody says something about you that is a lie, eventually it's going to come out as a lie, right? Who sets these rules and define what disinformation and misinformation is for me? I just don't understand this. People say, well, you're stupid. Misinformation and disinformation is bad information. I said, yes, but you could have something that's factually true, but then a government official, no matter which government it is in the world, is going to come out and go, that's misinformation. But it's actually true. It's correct. It's objectively true, not subjectively true, as in from a person's individual point of view. But you can demonstrate that it's true by giving facts. Oh, I'm sorry, you're not allowed to do that or say that. And this really gets up my goddamn nose. And it's all because of the old thing about the truth hurts, you know? It's like, you know, we're going to start a rumor about David here, that he's a big fat bastard. Oh, okay, well, I'm going to get that company shut down because they can't go around saying I'm a big fat bastard. That's misinformation and disinformation. You know, so this didn't say it was actually a lie. It's just weird to me. I just find it frustrating that people's IQs seem to have dropped so far in the last few years that, well, a government official says it, so it must be right. Doesn't matter which country you're in. And check this Justice Alexandre de Moraes. I wouldn't be taking bloody his ideas, you know, of what is misinformation and disinformation when you look like bloody Nosferatu. I mean, for God's sake, he looks like a bloody... What's he going to do? Be the next Stephen bloody King Salem's Lot and play bloody... what was it? What was his name? The vampire in Salem's Lot? Barlow. Kurt Barlow. That's exactly what he looks like. Bloody hell. Fascinates me. Oh dear, oh dear. On Friday, the judge ordered the platform banned in Brazil, giving Google and Apple 5 days to remove X from their app stores. He also threatened a fine of around 50,000 Brazilian real, approximately $8,874 a day, for anyone using a virtual private network to get around the ban. Free speech is the bedrock of democracy, and an unelected pseudo-judge in Brazil is destroying it for political purposes, Musk said in a response to the order. Musk also called de Moraes an evil dictator cosplaying as a judge and accused President Luiz Inácio Lula da Silva of being his lapdog. Yes. That was a subtle way of putting it, Uncle Elon. Interesting, isn't it? Now, as usual, I'll leave the link to the main article below the video so you can pop in, check out these embedded links, go for a bit of a deeper dive if you want beyond the main article. Makes for a very interesting read, believe me. Yeah, we're seeing a lot of this now. I mean, look at France in arresting Pavel Durov of Telegram. You know? I mean, for goodness sake, this has just gone beyond the joke. Elon Musk has already had 2 death threats against him. You know? Well, not 2 death threats, but 2 attempts literally on his life from what he said. And I'm going, this is insane. And I notice how Mark Zuckerberg's now come out and just, I don't know what's going on there, but the fact that he came out and admitted that the US government told him to censor this and censor that and censor everything else, which for years was a conspiracy theory. Now it's come out. Is he trying to get into somebody's good books? You know? Because he sees what's happened to Pavel Durov. He's seen what's happening to X in Brazil. And he's concerned that, you know, Facebook's going to be banned from another country, or he's going to have his life threatened, you know? Again, I don't agree with it. I mean, you might like Elon Musk, you might not like him, but do I want to kill him? No, don't be ridiculous. I wouldn't want to kill anybody or hurt anybody. You know, it's getting to the point where this censorship stuff has got to stop, and I can't understand how people can't see. They can't see more than just 5 seconds in front of their face. If this keeps going, we're going to end up like we're going to end up all these free Western countries are no longer free. It just frustrates the living daylights out of me. And it's happening rapidly, and it's happening in front of us, and I just don't understand how people can't see it. We're heading towards an authoritarian dictatorship. We're going to be worse than China or North Korea. Now, on Thursday, de Moraes froze the accounts of Starlink, a subsidiary of Musk's SpaceX, saying this was needed to ensure the payment of fines levied against X to fail to appoint a legal representative. Dear Lord. Musk objected to the absolutely illegal action taken without any due process, pointing out that X and SpaceX are two completely different companies with different shareholders. Now, according to X's global government affairs team, de Moraes threatened our Brazilian legal representative with imprisonment. Even after she resigned, he froze all of her bank accounts. Yeah. So I'm no longer dealing with Elon Musk. I don't want to do anything with it. Leave me alone. Didn't matter. It's like apologising to the woke mob. You apologise to them, it's only going to make it worse. Tell them to stick it, as far as I'm concerned. This frustrates the living daylights out of me. It's like the naivety. I mean, I just don't understand how a judge can not do research and find out that they're two separate companies with different shareholders. It's like somebody going after McDonald's and not realising that you have McDonald's corporate restaurants, and you have individually owned franchisees that are individual businesses that could be mum and dad's burgers. But instead of having mum and dad's burgers out the front, they've got the golden arches because they're operating a franchise. They're licensed to use the McDonald's thing. And people don't even realise that. And it would take you 2 seconds of Googling. For God's sake. You know, I mean, you can Google the size of Kim Kardashian's left backside cheek this week. Why can't you Google this stuff and find out exactly what's going on? But nobody seems to want to do it. It's incredible. Our challenges against his manifestly illegal actions were either dismissed or ignored, the company said, pledging to make public all the related court filings in the interest of transparency. Unlike other social media and technology platforms, will not comply in secret with illegal orders. Yeah, and that's the one thing I do like about X, Twitter 2.0, was the fact that if what somebody's putting up there is incorrect, it will very, very quickly be proven incorrect. If it's true, it'll be proven true, whether that's good or bad. Again, it just frustrates the living daylights out of me. Disinfectant is the best, sunlight's the best form of disinfectant. If somebody's bullshitting, the bullshit will bloody rise to the surface. You know what I mean? Like, people will be able to scrape it off. It's fascinating. But you need to have all this information to make up your own mind. People, I look at people and I go, why do you just see what's on television or on curated platforms and just accept it as being true? Why don't you take 5 minutes to look it up yourself? Doesn't help that Google's heavily censored, but there are other places to go to find your information. And people go, how do we know this is right? How do we know this is wrong? Do they provide their references? The receipts, as the kids say nowadays. If they do, that gives you a good indication that these people are genuine. If I see that many mainstream media articles where they go, John says this, or we've heard, people associated with the case say that. I could make stuff up. I could go, I know people that do this and do this. If I know people that do this, and the news comes out and says it and goes, Blah, blah, blah said this today. Oh my God, that person is absolutely horrendous. Where's your evidence? You know, somebody says, I saw this person on TV, 28 verifiable lies. Did you fact check any of them? Or if you did fact check them, did you actually come out with any facts? Or you just said, I've used the words fact check, so I must be right. I see this all the time and it frustrates me. The US Embassy in Brazil said only it was monitoring the situation, adding that freedom of expression is a fundamental pillar in a healthy democracy. No, it's not, apparently, according to these bastards. Now you try and freedom of speech there. Never mentioned the word freedom of speech, but they did mention freedom of expression. As long as you express yourself in a certain way or you speak in a certain way, you're free to do it. I might disagree with a lot of what other people say, but do I have a right to shut them up? No, of course I don't. People can listen to me and go, you're a dribbling on old fart. Why would I listen to you? Exactly. Treat it like the TV. If you don't like what you see on the TV, switch the damn thing off. It's fascinating. The dispute began earlier this year when De Moraes ordered X to suspend the accounts belonging to several supporters of former President Jair Bolsonaro, calling them digital militants who spread disinformation about himself in the court. Musk refused, calling the order a violation of Brazilian laws. Gee, supporters of former president. Does that sound familiar or what? Yeah. Yeah, it's as I say, it's not good. It's not good at all. And it frustrates the living bejesus out of me. Rumble's had to do the same thing in France, where Pavel Durov was picked up. Rumble, if you don't know, is an alternative streaming site to YouTube. Links below the description of this video. So they told France exactly what they could do with it. Because it's just ridiculous, you know? If you don't like something somebody says, don't listen to them. Hear them out for a minute. If you don't agree, you don't agree. But this is just insane. I grew up with this, listening to the stuff that came out of the former Soviet Union as a kid. And it was this, and this. I got a question on that. You know, there'll be a reporter asking questions, you know, about what they saw in Pravda, you know, the major Soviet newspaper at the time. What? You're questioning it? Yes. You know, journalists would disappear. I mean, that's how bad it's getting. It's incredibly insane. So all these journalists ended up asking the right questions so they wouldn't be, you know, dragged off to a bloody gulag somewhere. And this is what's happening here. It's starting to happen already. It fascinates me. Anyway, my name's David. Thanks for joining me for another Studio 64 Science, Space and Tech News rant. I shall see you in the next one. If you enjoyed this video, please like, share, subscribe. I greatly appreciate it. And if you're up for it, drop a comment down below the video because I'd love to hear what you think. All right, take care. And as I always say, if you can't be good at it. And as I also always say, check the links down below this video for Odyssey, Rumble, and BitChute. And that way you can get this content on those freedom of speech platforms as well. I stick on YouTube so I can get the word out to go across to these other platforms. Because eventually, it's the only way anyone is going to be able to say what they like, not what they're told to say. Fascinating. And as I also always say,
Take off!